Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Spectacular here, and welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking. Today is March 17th, 2022, just after 12 o'clock. In this episode, we're going to look at what has been going on with our friends across the ocean, at least across the ocean for me, over in America, what the Fed has been doing, what's happening with the markets, couple things over in Ukraine, as well as some major news headlines that might be indicating we are headed for some fireworks. So first, let's have a look at the stock market, because unfortunately, we are no longer in a game where crypto does whatever it wants. The big boys are in town, they're playing our game. So unfortunately, crypto is highly dependent on what the stock market is doing. And we've had some nice fireworks yesterday. The S&P 500 up a good couple percent. Let me just be specific with you. Yeah, up 2.6% on the S&P, quite nice. US 500 also big daily candle up. The Vanguard index also nice run up. Nasdaq, and if we look at specific stocks, Tesla up 4.7%, Palantir 9%, Amazon 3%, Airbnb 8%, ARK almost 10%, and the one that shocked everyone, Alibaba, up 36%. Now, what we've witnessed yesterday in the stock market, the Fed finally did what they were talking about for months now, which is introducing their first interest rate. If you've watched the first interest rate increase, if you've watched any of the previous episodes, as we've talked about in the case of Bitcoin, this entire bull run, all the way from March 2020, all the way from here, all the way up to right here. That was fueled by printing money, new money coming into the markets, and people just investing it because they figured there's so much free money, I might as well get some of it and get rich. Now, because inflation is starting to run crazy, and as you may be aware, being the conscious person watching this, as you are, they're lying about inflation. There's no, it's not 7%, it's not 8%, it's not even 10%. It's at least 20, if not more. Look at oil prices, look at the car prices, look at the gas prices, look at the prices of just the stuff you buy on a day-to-day basis. My mom's over in Poland. She says the price of coal has doubled from last year. So no, the inflation is not 7%, as they say. And even though they are able to manipulate the numbers, it's still as bad. It's still bad with the numbers being manipulated. So you can only imagine the panic that would ensue if they reveal the actual inflation numbers. But even with the numbers that we have, they still need to do something about it, because it's as bad as it was in decades now. So what the Fed has done, they have decided to introduce an increase in interest rates, slow down the money printer, which has caused quite a lot of panic and fear in the markets. So we've gone for, in the case of Bitcoin alone, we've had, I'll just pull out the measuring tool. In the case of Bitcoin alone, we've had a maximum of 52% drawdown. In the case of the S&P 500, we didn't do, no, I do not want your car insurance. In the case of the S&P, we've seen a 15% drop, which for the size of the market that it is, it's bad. It's bad, and it's massive. So the interest rate increase that we've had yesterday, I believe that was already priced in, because markets, the way they operate, they're future pacing. They respond to what's going to happen rather than what has happened. So like I thought, we had a bit of a relief on the day of the actual event, same as when crypto pumps. It pumps prior to an announcement, like ADA, prior to them launching smart contracts. Let me just pull it up. ADA, there we go. So it had a massive pump on the expectation of the event. I think this was around the day when they announced the day for the when the smart contracts were going to launch. Again, dump, we saw the news. And again, the expectation of them launching the actual smart contracts, which happened right around here, and we've seen this massive drawdown. So it works both ways. We buy and load up prior to the event. So when the event actually comes in, we dump on the retail, the uneducated ones that come in and basically hold our bags. In the case of things moving down, right around here, November last year, November, December is when they announced that they were gonna start slowing down the money printer. The event has actually occurred, and we have seen a bit of a bounce, which I could be wrong, but I think it's still going to continue for a little bit, because and then what I see happening, again, I could be wrong. I would much rather be wrong about this, but you know, time will tell. What I think is going to happen is we're going to have a bit of a bounce again, probably at least to around this level for Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptos, probably mid 50s, just under 60. I don't think we're going to take out 60. Definitely, we're not going to see all-time highs like some people are saying, unless, excuse me, unless we have a full-blown all-out war between America and Russia, which would justify and necessitate ridiculous money printing, and I don't see that happening. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a bit of a run-up, probably to around 50s, mid 50s, and then we're gonna have a massive nuke down to, in the case of Bitcoin, so if this was the 2020 market top, I think 28K, that would be very optimistic. I think 20K would be justifiable with a wick down to around 16, just to flash crash, just to really mess with people. But the reason I think that's the case is because they're saying about another 6, 7, maybe even 8 rate increases, which is gonna just crush the markets when it is announced that they're definitely planning to happen. And with each rate increase, again, we're gonna have a panic, bit of a relief, more panic. But again, I would rather be wrong about this. However, personally, I am focusing on, well, first of all, not getting killed in this market. Second of all, stacking cash, because if I'm right and bloodshed does happen, whoever loads up during those times will do very, very well, because it's all cyclical. They have to, when inflation's under control, they worry about growth. When growth is okay, they worry about inflation. So it all goes in circles, and eventually we will see a time when the printer goes off again. So that's the Fed. Now, what's been going on with Bitcoin? Let me just switch to another chart. See, what we've seen happen is this nice little pattern forming, which just so happens to be around some of the key Fibonacci extensions. How do I know this? There we go. So we've had this massive drop. And now we see this little triangle forming here. Usually that's a continuation pattern to the downside. However, with technical analysis, one thing you have to remember is everyone's looking at the same charts, everyone's analyzing the same patterns. So the exact thing you would expect to happen is exactly what might not happen, simply because you have to consider the different levels of game theory. So it's like in jiu-jitsu. If you're a white belt, your moves are pretty obvious. Once you go higher up the belt ranks, once you get to a black belt, you set things up. So you make your opponent think you're going for something in order for them to expose that side, which actually gives you what you want. Same in boxing. I'm going to fake with the left. I'm going to make you defend that side. I'm going to smack you with the right. Same with this. You cannot move the market. The whales can. As a matter of fact, the whales are not the ones reading the charts. The whales are the ones printing the charts. So keep that in mind. And that's just me hypothesizing now, but I would not be surprised if we stay a little bit in this tight range, probably break out here, make people go long, then see a dump, possibly wick out here before actually moving up to really mess with everyone and really take out as many traders as they possibly can. And if we zoom things in on the hourly chart, there's some key levels we need to pay attention to. So right now we're sitting at around, let me switch to another chart. It's not only these colors here. There we go. Just so we are on a clear chart. There's a couple of levels we need to pay attention to. So now we're just around 41K. We would need to take out, just put a line. We need to take out this high, just under 42. Then about 42.5. Probably a breakout would be good, probably followed by a retest. And then the main one standing in our way is just under 46. If we can break out at 46, probably followed by a retest, then there's a high possibility we might see a bit of fireworks, because then one thing you got to remember is not everybody, there's not a whole lot of people in the game now. Most of there's essentially no new money coming in. It's just whales and traders. So once new money starts coming in, then we can see a potential for things to really move up. Because here's the thing, whales, the big dogs, they bought down here. They created this, they bought this, and they've played with everyone along the way. So their bags are loaded up. So now their game is, how many people can we take out along the way? And most retail traders, they don't enter until they feel like it's safe to enter. And in their mind, it's safe to enter after things have gone up. Which, if you bought Bitcoin at 65, 69, how's that working out for you? Was that really safe? Anyway, just so we're not rambling on for eternity, let's just look quickly at what's been happening with the alts, finish off with some news headlines, and we'll wrap it up for today. So again, really nice green day yesterday. Ethereum within the last 24 hours still up 3.6%. Couple alts popping off. ADA, Sol, AVAX up 5% on a weekly. AVAX 10% on a daily. Overall, things are starting to look a bit more bullish, at least for the short term. Now, as far as some news headlines, one piece of good news: the EU voted on banning Bitcoin and crypto. Of course, that vote did not pass, luckily. There's some positive legislation in Ukraine legalizing Bitcoin and cryptos. Now, this is an interesting one. $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin has just left Coinbase, meaning got put into a cold storage wallet. If I had $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin and I was putting it into a wallet, I'd be putting it to hold. I'd be putting it to hold because I'm thinking fireworks are about to start. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, one thing I found about yesterday, helps to have Twitter notifications switched on for certain people. ApeCoin has just launched, which is created by the same guys that are running Bored Ape Yacht Club. It was something that's been anticipated for a while now. So that's one coin I will be looking at, and I'll be digging more into it, doing more research on it. We also have a early research team at Blockchain Sensei. So I'll have a word with those guys, see if we could get something sorted for you guys. Just for the record, I know nothing about this coin. I just know it exists. So we'll definitely be doing more research into that. Oh, of course, a positive word from the EU regulators. Watch out for crypto ads by celebrities. Yeah, guys, listen, if Kim Kardashian is saying to you, buy this crypto because I have made 100x gain on it, you're her exit liquidity. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I think, oh, another one that I wanted to mention. Apparently Americans want crypto from their banks. Now, personally, the bank is the last place I would buy crypto from, considering I buy crypto to get away from the banks. However, it's good for mass adoption. It's good for people to come in and adopt this technology because it just makes it better for us. Now, the last thing we'll just look at before we wrap it up is the Fear and Greed Index with a whole bunch of ads for Jaguars and Lambos, if anyone's interested. At least I don't get any more ads from British politicians. I would rather see cars than those guys. We are still in fear, still at 27, which again, yesterday we've had a massive run up on extreme fear, multiple percentages up on quite a lot of coins. And even though I said this is the last thing I want to show you, we're still going to look at funding very briefly. So that's a tool I've started to use recently. It's useful for estimating what the average market participant thinks. So when everyone was bullish, everyone was long, we've seen this massive crash, because if everyone only wants to buy, well, somebody's going to have to sell it. Somebody's going to sell, right? So it's probably useful to take in profits after a long period of just greed and euphoria. Now, whenever we've seen extreme levels of negative funding, bearishness, we've had a bit of a run up, like we see here. negative funding, boom, we moved up. Negative funding, we moved up. Negative funding here, 2 days later, we move up. So there is a slight possibility we might see probably a bit of a pullback today and tomorrow, and then potentially from next week, we might continue moving up. Of course, none of this stuff is guaranteed. None of this stuff is promised. Keep that in mind. Be responsible. Before I forget again, let me just throw out a disclaimer, guys. None of this is financial advice. You should treat this as information, education only. Hopefully a bit of entertainment, but I have to keep my jokes appropriate, even though I'm Polish. And yeah, in plain English, don't be a dumbass. Don't gamble with your money. Learn what you're doing. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to learn how to trade, learn about crypto, learn how to invest, shoot us a message on Instagram. You can book a lesson with any of our team. One thing we've been doing recently is just gathering together all the guys, and we teach the things we are best at to the students. So I teach trading, Keish is teaching DeFi, Storm is teaching NFTs, Michael, the OG, he's doing the stocks, and Ninja has been doing the heavy crypto fundamentals. So if you'd like to do that, shoot us a message on Instagram at blockchain sensei. If you don't have a whole lot of time or just want to simplify and speed up your learning curve, check out our Signal service where I send you live trades 20 times a month minimum. Last month on the trades that have executed, we've done just under 50%. I believe it was 48. So it's only £20 a month. So if you're going to spend it on coffee, you might as well spend that on getting some money. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Have a spectacular day, and I will see you in the next episode.